Welcome to this wonderful occasion this afternoon. We've had a great event for West Kentucky Community and Technical College today, the opening of our Inland Logistics and Marine Technology Institute. Once you're inside, you are not going to believe the changes and the difference in appearance that this building has taken on since we started this project over the last few months. So welcome to you. I want to reminisce for just a minute. I've carried Mr. Ken Wheeler's chair up here, made him sit up front. And I wanted to recognize him because it has been 20 years since Mr. Wheeler came into Carson Hall. I was not president then, but that was when I was the Dean of Academic Affairs, and Mr. Wheeler said, we really need to do something, work collaboratively with the river industry. So that was 20 years ago. We've had starts and we've had ebbs and flows throughout those years, but we have never stopped. We continued the idea that we were going to work collaboratively with the river industry and elevate education and our work together to promote this very, very important industry in our community. So we began significantly a few years ago when we put a training lab in Anderson Technical Building. That's when we started doing training for the cooks on the river. That grew and grew, and so it wasn't very long after that we started having diesel classes, and all of that was really a result of the support that AEP River Operations gave the college. That's what launched us to grow even bigger. And we at that time had Andrew Gates, and I'm going to introduce him in a minute, but we had him working with us, and then Workforce Solutions and Jim Poppy. Where's Jim? Jim. And Steve Freeman. Where's Steve? Where Steve is back there waving. And Dr. Tina Payne. Where's Tina? Back here. We all started saying we needed to do even more. So at that time, we joined the only one, 9 community colleges in a river consortium down the Mississippi from Minnesota down to New Orleans. 9 colleges got together. It was all to improve the economy on the Mississippi. That launched us then to receive a Department of Labor grant, $2.3 million, which made this building the purchase, working with Dave Dewey, working with many partners to purchase and rehab this building that you're going to see for our Logistics and Marine program and our Workforce Solutions training program. You are going to be so impressed when you come in. But I want to say that this has been a strong partnership with Seamen's Church Institute during the entire time, and I want to recognize the donors who have played such a part in these 20 years that we've worked and gotten to today. And Mr. Wheeler, I'm going to again thank you because you've made the connections and you've worked with us, pushed us along the way, and we appreciate that sincerely. Again, AEP River Operations, Rose Point Navigation Systems, Crounce Corporation, Ingram, Marquette Transportation Company, all major players in today's events. So at this time, I want to bring forward Troy Courtney, and Troy is the director of this institute and launching it and going to make it even bigger. So Troy.
Thank you, Dr. Veazey. Dr. Veazey's already recognized a number of individuals in industry that has helped make this day possible. I'm going to point out a few others that have assisted in making this possible. First, our architect, Pat Kerr. Pat, we kind of knew what we wanted, but he pointed us in the right direction, and we ended up with a really nice renovation. And also our general contractor, B.H. Green & Son. I don't know if anyone from B.H. Green is here today, But Doug Jones was the on-site project manager, and I probably owe him an apology for coming down 4 or 5 times a week and saying, are we going to make the deadline? Because we had a really tight deadline that we had to meet because of the grant funds we were receiving, and they made it happen. So they had some subcontractors that helped also on the building. I'd like to recognize those. Knight and Sons Masonry, Reynolds and Doyle Incorporated, Regional Glass, Richards Floor Coverings, West Kentucky Painting, Gibson Plumbing and Mechanical, Triangle Enterprises, and Mott Electric. So thanks to BH Green and Sons and all their subcontractors. They did a great job. Hopefully when you go in and look around, you'll see we've got a very, very nice facility that we're very proud of. The engine that was donated that you'll see inside, some of you may have already seen it, some of you maybe not, that was made possible due to AEP. And Dr. Veazey mentioned all the support AEP has given us. I'd like to also reiterate how much support they give us, and specifically Andrew Gates. He's been at one point a part of our program and continues to be a supporter of our program. So thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
But the engine that you see in the building did not look exactly like it looks today when we received it. I mean, it was an actual engine from a boat that had been used for a really long time. Once we were given that engine, it sat outside for over a year waiting to get our facility done. So it looked a little bit different than what you see now. And we had a lot of help from a lot of different people to get it to where it is today. So first, the frame that the engine sits on, that was designed and fabricated by our welding program at West Kentucky Community and Technical College. So that's a perfect example of the type of skills that those folks teach in our welding program. It's an excellent job. So I'd like to thank Paul Householder, Curtis Green, Virgil Holland, and all the other folks that work in our welding program. Then there was the tiny task of moving that engine and taking it apart and cleaning it up and putting it back together and repainting it and bringing it to our building. And when you see it, you'll realize it really wasn't a tiny task. But we were fortunate that we have a company here in Paducah that we could hire to get that done that's one of the best in the business, and that's NRE at their shop down on Kentucky Avenue. I'd like to thank a few people at NRE. Bob Pedersen, VP of NRE Paducah, he made our project a priority. They picked that engine up and 2 weeks later brought it back, looked like a brand new one. And in addition, Bob Pedersen gave me the opportunity to work with Bo Warren and Mike Gannett. They are professionals in every sense of the word. They are experts in their fields when it comes to that engine. So I don't know if Bo or Mike are here today, but they were a joy to work with. So thanks to them. And also the Paducah Riverport. The Paducah Riverport, originally I started working with Ken Canner over a year ago on how to get the engine from where it was stored down the street at the Paducah Riverport into that building. During that time, Ken Canner retired, and fortunately, Bill Miller, our new executive director at the Riverport, is just as supportive as Ken was. And I'd like to thank Bill Miller, Butch Wood, and Wade Turner for helping get the engine actually into the building. And I've seen them around here somewhere. I don't know. You guys raise your hand. You deserve a lot of recognition. So thank you very much. And in 2013, Dr. Veazey touched a little bit on the Mississippi River Transportation, Distribution, and Logistics Consortium. In 2013, that allowed us the opportunity to receive the grant that Dr. Veazey had mentioned, $2.3 million in grant funds that made this possible today. We are one of 9 colleges in that consortium. We work closely with other consortium members. The goal of that money was to expand, develop, and improve transportation, distribution, and logistics programs. Fortunately, due to the vision of Dr. Veazey and the leadership at West Kentucky Community and Technical College, we had a little bit of a head start. Our program had already started. We'd already had it developed, but it was still in its infancy as far as our logistics and marine programs. So we've devoted our efforts to not so much development, but improvement of our curriculum, improvement of our content, and expanding our program and marketing that program across the country. Those grant funds have been the spark needed to ignite our growth in our program. Since receiving that grant in October of 2013, our grant-affected programs have touched nearly 700 students. And actually, our classes start next week. We will probably be over 700 students. So that's quite an achievement, and we are just getting started. The goal of our programs are simple: provide students with the education and training needed to make them successful in their chosen fields, and ensure the education and training we provide is what the industry needs to continue their growth and success. The Inland Logistics and Marine Institute houses both the marine and logistics programs. The marine program is led by Captain Stan Wallace, who is the program coordinator for our marine degree programs, and Captain Steve Hearn, marine training specialist, who is responsible for providing customized training to the local river industry. Both Stan and Steve are retired from the U.S. Coast Guard, and between them bring over 60 years of experience as professional mariners. The logistics program is led by myself. My background includes over 26 years in the transportation industry, specifically in the air freight and trucking industry, working as a ramp agent, manager, senior manager, overseeing aircraft, trucking, pickup and delivery in Columbus, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Kansas City, Missouri, and Paducah. In addition, we have support staff that includes Melissa Alcock. She's a senior administrative assistant who assists us in our grant compliance and student enrollment. And course designer John Walker, who produces original video content for our online programs. Things you're going to see in the building are obviously traditional classrooms that are used for specialized workforce training. A radar lab where members of the marine industry can train on the latest electronic chart and radar equipment. A diesel lab where students can experience hands-on training with large diesel engines. And a studio utilized to improve our online content, making it more informative and more engaging to the student. West Kentucky Community and Technical College is at the forefront of the future of education. Not only are we enhancing our online learning experience through improved content, but we're converting our class offerings to learn on demand, which allows students more freedom in the start and end time of their coursework. We have formed articulation agreements with Murray State University, where a student, after completing his 2-year Associate in Applied Science in Logistics and Operations Management, can transfer directly into Murray State's 4-year Logistics and Supply Chain Management degree. We are working closely with other community colleges so that their students can utilize our programs to gain the same education as we offer. We've offered logistics as dual credit to a high school in Bullitt County, Kentucky, which is housed in the center of a concentration of distribution and warehouse facilities in Kentucky right outside of Louisville. We hope to continue to expand these alliances, making the Inland Logistics and Marine Institute known as a premier education provider serving the transportation, distribution, and warehousing industry, not just in Kentucky, but nationally. I often define logistics to my students as the right product at the right time in the right place. With Paducah being the nation's northernmost ice-free river port, located at a strategic point on the inland river system, and home to the largest flat-top crane in North America, the expansion of the Panama Canal currently at 90%, Ingram Barge's recent test of moving containerized freight via barge, and hopefully a future that includes Paducah as being designated a foreign trade zone, the Inland Logistics and Marine Institute is offering the right programs at the right place and at the right time. Thank you.
I hope that with Troy's remarks you understand and you know what a commitment this was to this community, that the college is in the forefront, and that this is a very rare program in the nation. You're not going to see another one like it. We feel that we are in the forefront, and someone had to have that vision. Mayor Kaler, we are very, very pleased to be able to make this commitment to Paducah and in the entire region. But someone had to have that vision. You don't think it was me. So it was a group of people, and Andrew Gates was at the forefront of that. So Andrew, thank you. With AEP, he was ours, but now we work collaboratively because AEP is a major partner.
Well, I'll start off by saying that Dr. Veazey took the first part of what I had written as she reminisced, and then note to self, don't get your current affairs from the person that's rolling the program out, because Troy took the second half of what I had written. So I'll be brief now. I'll take the middle part. I want to start out on behalf of AEP River Operations, the Board of Directors for the Paducah-McCracken County River Port Authority, and the Board of Directors for the Port of Paducah Propeller Club to congratulate Dr. Veazey and the entire staff at West Kentucky Community and Technical College. I think the opening of this institute today proves that the college is at the forefront of a movement for recognizing that education and training are moving forward and becoming ever more important each day in the river industry. So congratulations on that. I did start back in 2009 with the college. Dr. Veazey had me come into her office with Debbie Poppy at the time with Workforce Solutions, and I had a little bit of a maritime background. I'm a Paducah hometown boy, so it kind of fit, and I started out in the blue water. I used to drive ships before I moved back to Paducah and got married to my wife, who never let me go back to sea. So West Kentucky was a great fit, a new program. Dave Varvel, who's around here somewhere, he was part of Marquette Transportation and a major partner of the college at the time, and said, I've got an opportunity for your husband to get home, and I chose to take that, and it's been a great road. So back in 2009, we got going. I tell you right now that blue water, the ocean side of it, and brown water, what you see out on the river, are two completely different things. So I've got to take an opportunity to thank a person that's been like a mentor to me ever since I came on with the college, and that's Mr. Wheeler. He really helped me along the way. Had some good connections in the community already, but he just drove home some better connections within the maritime industry, and I'm very appreciative of that. So thank you. So once we got going in 2009, we just took off, and it's really easy to do a job when you take the brilliant minds of all of our partners that have been mentioned here today and put all those together, and it makes you look really good. So I'm very appreciative to be a part of the program and be a part of the opening of the facility today. I do still hold this program and the college very close to me, and try to do whatever I can to support those efforts, so they continue to move forward. And I'll close with saying that I truly look forward to the horizon and what's out there in the future, and can't wait to see what efforts the college can come up with next. It should be no surprise seeing this building and these programs and all of the programs at the community college, why this particular college is ranked top 3 in the nation. Thank you.
Sandra Wilson, our president of the chamber, is now going to lead us to our final moments. But I want to tell you how much I appreciate you standing out on that hot parking lot today. I appreciate it. I do. I thank you for the college.
I see a lot of new faces that aren't typically at our chamber ribbon cutting. So if you are here from the river industry, would you raise your hand? So thank you all for being here. I think today this is a perfect example of why West Kentucky Community Technical College is one of the leading colleges in the country, because when you hear the needs of our employers for their training and for everything that they need, you respond. WKCTC always finds a way to respond to the needs of our community. So thank you for that. Dr. Veazey doesn't take no. She always finds a way to make something happen. So thank you and congratulations to you. And we want to move this over, and you want to just line up here, and we've got a couple of ambassadors that'll hold it on the side, and then who do you want to get behind? Well, let's get Mr. Will.
Here's our pose photo. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, here we go.
Okay. All right.